should I have played that card yesterday? Should I have played that card? Moved to Texas as a 10-year-old in the late 70s, and you lose your accent pretty quickly when you move to Texas as a 10-year-old in the late 70s. Obviously not a personal trainer, though. I don't have that going for me. But I have been told that I have the perfect face for radio. So. All right, I picked the Elton John as the entrance music for a reason. Elton is another one of the celebrities I've met with my work with abandoned, orphaned, trafficked, enslaved kids. I got to enjoy a dinner with him and share with him, that's my mom, share with him about my mom, and in England we say mom, and how she adored him and played all his hits on the piano, but how she also struggled with weight and with depression, much like Elton has over the years and has been vocal about it. And unfortunately also shared with him that she lost with that battle, that she took her own life. And, as Eric said, my products have done billions in this industry, 50 peer-reviewed studies, hundreds of thousands of lives changed. I don't need to do this for the money, but as far as this specific product, trying to get weight management under control, I'm doing it for my mom because. Because as you learned yesterday and as you'll hear a little more today, it's this gut-brain communication, and that whole communication is part of mood also. It is part of having good mood, and so we'll delve into that a little later. Got a lot to cover today, so we're just going to put a plaster on it and crack on. How about that? I didn't even see my British guys here today. That was for them. Let's talk drugs. Another thing that Elton knows one or two things about. Struggled with those in his younger days. These weight loss drugs, these miracle weight loss drugs that are on track. And this article here is actually now even out of date. They're saying 100 billion within the next few years and 200 billion within the next 5 years after that. People willing to pay $100,000 plus a month to be on them. This is literally changing the global economy as we know it. These drugs are projected to be, have a multi-trillion-dollar impact on the health industry and change world economies as a result. Now, you've been hearing a lot of things from the big pharma propaganda machine that now, hey, these drugs that weren't originally even weight loss drugs, right? They were for diabetes. But now, hey, they're for liver disease, fatty liver disease, and kidney disease, and heart disease. And again, this propaganda machine is making you think that, man, these things are just the bee's knees. They're incredible. But then you realize that liver conditions, kidney conditions, cardiovascular conditions, and even sleep apnea, that these almost 50 or so conditions that they're saying these drugs help alleviate are all related to weight loss. When you lose weight, hey, guess what? Liver's better, kidney's better, cardiovascular function is better, sleep apnea goes away. Don't be fooled by the propaganda. It's all about weight loss. And so we get back to this gut-brain communication thing again. Now, the gut, which again, I'm a little pudgy there, and I'll tell you more about that later. But these are not gut drugs. These are brain drugs. They are saturating the brain, mimicking, not providing GLP-1 and other gut hormones, but mimicking that gut hormone. Now, I'm one of the guys that helped popularize the term in the early 2000s, biohacking. I'm a biohacker, epigenetics, nutrigenomics, but much like computers, there are good hacks and there are bad hacks. And this hack of the gut-brain communication pathway is a bad hack, guys. It's a bad hack. And when you have a bad hack, you have consequences. You know, these gut hormones, and it's not, I'm going to keep referring to just GLP-1 because but there's a plethora of them. There's GLP-1-2, there's CCK, there's PYY, there's GIP. But just know when I'm saying GLP-1, I'm actually talking about multiple hormones. And the purpose of these hormones are to sense the presence of nutrients, help with the uptake, the absorption, and the transport of those nutrients, and then let your brain know, hey, we have our nutrients, you can stop eating. And when you jack with that with a bad hack, and you're making the brain think that it's received its nutrients when it hasn't, you've got malnutrition. These hormones help take away the hunger, the desire for nutrients, while not providing the nutrients. And so you end up having chemical malnutrition. The side effects are real, guys. This isn't just stuff you have to stomach and push through, right? I mean, there's headaches, fatigue, dizziness, heartburn, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, constipation. Especially that diarrhea, constipation. That's not a pleasant pendulum to be on, right? And so you end up losing much more than fat. You know, gaunt faces, weak muscles, fragile bones. You've probably heard of Ozempic butt, right? Anybody here heard of Ozempic butt? Didn't have slapping my ass on stage on my bingo card this morning, but that's arse for my English guys. But it's not just those cosmetics and these structural underpinnings, but I mean, there's some pretty serious GI issues out there, guys. I mean, read that second one there. Woman suffers life-threatening bowel injury, will have diarrhea forever. Can you imagine? Diarrhea forever? That's not pleasant. You're laughing. Oh, you're going to hell, brother. Poor woman. No, I mean, gastroparesis. I mean, this is in part because these drugs not only give that false sense of satiety, but they also slow gastric emptying to make you feel fuller longer. And if you're not hungry and you're not eating and you don't have actually something in your stomach to move along, gastroparesis, either temporary or permanent paralysis of the gut are some of the side effects. Then we've got the fatalities, of course. This article here, 100 fatalities. It's actually pretty dated. It's in the many hundreds now, and the big pharma companies say, well, gosh, there's tens and tens of millions of people taking these drugs now. It's such a small, number that have had fatal conditions. I mean, does that sit right with you? I mean, are you willing to risk your life to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds? You've got a bigger chance of that than winning the lottery. Is that a chance you're willing to take? When death is a possible side effect, it should not be called safe and effective. Common sense, right? Or at least it's the uncommon common sense we referred to yesterday. And then there's the psychological side effects. There is much truth to the saying, go with your gut. I mean, you get that feeling. Our guts and much with my mom, right? Very much intertwined. And so when you mess with this gut-brain communication, you've got anxiety and depression, eating disorders. Hey, these things are supposed to take care of this whole eating weight thing, right? And one of the psychological side effects is eating disorders, mood swings, Ozempic personality is a thing now. Reduced sex drive was Mark. There's a market for him here too. And suicidal thoughts, again, a small percentage, but it's part of the equation. And what makes this even crazier here is we have psychiatrists who have clients on psychedelics, antidepressants, who are prescribing the Ozempics, the Mounjaros, the Zepbounds, the Wegovy's for patients who are gaining weight on those medications. So it's drugs on top of drugs, a chemical soup. And then it doesn't work for some. There are 10 to 15% that are non-responders. Imagine paying $1,000 to $1,300 a month. And hear me out. The compounders selling this stuff for $250, $300, their loophole is closing. That FDA loophole is closing. So it's all going to be back to $1,000, $1,300 a month. And then it doesn't work for you. And then they're depressed. And I want to tell them, hey, don't be depressed, because you actually have the smart brain. You have the brain that's saying, what the heck is this? It's not supposed to work this way. It's supposed to be real gut hormone secretion, not saturating my brain with something that mimics that. Some people will take the drugs anyway. Sorry, that should be in white text so you can read it. But some people will take the drugs anyway, despite the physical side effects, the mental side effects. Those physical side effects, that list is getting longer and longer each day. We've even got arthritis and blindness in there as side effects. But some people are going to take them anyway. And when we talk about the product regimen that we've developed for you, know that we're there for them. We're actually there for the people who are going to take these drugs anyway. And when they commit to take these drugs, they're committing to take them forever. These are designed as forever drugs. Guys, did you know that? This isn't take your Ozempic and then lose your 20 or 30 pounds or whatever. They are designed for you to stay on them forever. Otherwise, you gain the weight back. And so, $1,000 forever. Side effects forever. Brain trickery forever. Malnutrition forever. Is that something you want to sign up for? Scientists even admit that there's just too many unknowns. We don't know what saturating your brain with these synthetic chemicals to mimic true natural biological processes does. The timeline hasn't been extended long enough. We've got people that have been taking them for diabetes for a number of years, but this current scenario, gosh, we just have no idea. And then with some of the side effects that have been obviously figured out, Big Pharma solution, hey, let's adapt the drugs to take care of those side effects. So let's do, again, more drugs on top of drugs, more chemical soup. If you guys could leave some of these up a little longer so they can read the headlines, I would appreciate it. So what we have is, again, back to nutrient absorption needed, right? These drugs make you not hungry, you're not getting your nutrients, but they're also not truly activating the gut hormones that are necessary for nutrient absorption and transfer. So again, chemical malnutrition. So Big Food steps in and says, hey, maybe we need to develop some nutritious foods for people who are on Ozempic. And I'm thinking, well, what the food were you doing before that, right? This is part of the problem. So you got the CEO of Nestle here, who's saying, hey, we're going to do these companion products. Again, this article is a little dated. Those products are already out, and they're just junk, frozen, apportioned size meals with a little bit of fortification. They're still they're still missing the point as far as needing to get all those nutrient bases covered. They're just looking at a way to capitalize on this and make some more money, trying to do something vaguely similar to what they should have been doing in the first place. Here's one of the ironies. This product regimen that I'm going to share with you here in a minute, the drug companies need us. They need us to do this. They need for people who are on these drugs to actually have companion products that work. Even though they're tricking the brain, that these hormones have been, activated, there needs to be some real activation going on so nutrients can actually be absorbed to avoid all these side effects and avoid the lawsuits that are starting to pile up against them. So some people are going to take them anyway. Some people are going to look for the exit, how to get off of them. Some people just want to stop. Going through life without enjoying food, people are saying it's miserable. There's depression happening in this area also because people are missing food. They're missing the socialization around food. God created food to be pleasurable for a reason and to be social for a reason. Otherwise, we'd just plug in somewhere, right? People are missing that. They want to stop. They need an alternative to start enjoying life again. For some, it then stops working. There's the non-responders, and then there's another percentage where it just stops working, where your nutrient intake is so low, your body says, forget this. Your metabolism is so low, your body says, forget this, I'm just going to chill. And so imagine spending, let's say you're 250 pounds overweight, you lose 25 pounds, you've been spending $1,000 a month, and then it stops. And you can't push through. You can't get any more traction. But then you're still expected to spend that $1,000 a month to keep off the 25 pounds you lost. You're still clinically obese. You're sitting at 225, and you're let's call this a 4'6" person. I don't know, but you're still clinically obese, and you've made some gains, and you got to pay to even keep those gains off when it stops working. Probably heard about Ozempic babies, right? This is part of this. When these gut hormones aren't activated, aren't helping with the absorption of things, there's actually people that their birth control pills are not being absorbed and they're getting pregnant. And then you've also got other people who have lost weight, right? And now can get pregnant because they're at a healthier weight. Everything's working better. Everything's a little healthier. And they're pregnant. And they're still on this chemical malnutrition regimen, and by the time they find out that they are pregnant, they're like, oh my gosh, I've been depriving not only myself of nutrients, but my child, my unborn child as well. And so they need to get off. They need an alternative. We're there for them. And yes, as I've always already referred to, when you lose the weight, it comes back. This is why they're not called forever drugs forever, for no reason. When you stop taking the drugs, the weight comes back. We're there for those guys. And then there's some people that just want the natural alternatives, right? They've already know this stuff. They're scared. They don't want to risk blindness or death or gastroparesis. They just want a natural alternative. And what's out there, guys, is a bunch of bunk. And I don't just say this from a competitor standpoint. I mean, it is crap science. We've got companies that are taking special herbal combinations and then putting them in petri dishes with L cells. L cells are the cells that release these gut hormones. But doing it in a petri dish and saying, hey, it works. It's not real life science. You've got to actually consume something and get through the stomach to get down to those L cells. That's stupid science. And then you've got other people saying, hey, we've increased GLP-1, 150%, 200%. Sounds great, right? Hey, I can double my GLP-1 secretion. Then you realize that GLP-1 has a half-life of 1 to 2 minutes. It's like big whoop-de-doo, right? Big whoop-de-doo. I could eat a banana and extend my GLP-1 longer, and yet people are spending $179.99 a month for that kind of stuff. And then there's resistant starches and fiber where they make you feel full, right? And there is a place for that. There's a place because when you're activating GLP-1 and you're slowing gastric emptying, there's the need to actually have something in your stomach to slow that gastric emptying on. But a lot of these companies, that's all they're doing. They're just giving you cheap resistant starch, and again, charging you the privilege of having a 50-cent ingredient for $79.99 a month. Again, this is my industry, and I'm embarrassed by it. So some people will take the drugs anyway. What I'm going to share with you, we're there for them. We're going to give them some true gut hormone secretion and nutrient absorption along with the nutrients at the same time. We're there for them. For the people who want to exit and want to try and keep the weight off and do it in a healthier way and be able to enjoy food again, we're there for them. And for those who just want an alternative that aren't going to mess with any of that synthetic crap, we're there for them. So I want you guys to understand this, that as you take this regimen and present it to others, you've got a threefold market here. The people who are on the drugs are your market. The people who are coming off of the drugs are your market. And the people who never got on the drugs in the first place are your market. All right. So I fast every other year or so. I do it for spiritual reasons as well for health reasons, but in the health reasons, it's not typically done for losing weight, because I know I'll just gain that back when I start drinking beer and eating at food trucks again. But when I came off of a fast, about a year ago is when I first started experimenting with bioactive proteins. And again, when you come off, your body is like, hey, I was in starvation mode. I'm going to start hanging on to all the calories I can. I was taking this bioactive protein, and I wasn't gaining weight. And so I was still sitting at, as I mentioned yesterday, about 10 or 15 pounds overweight according to the charts. But I wasn't gaining the weight back, and I said, well, this is interesting. So kind of went through a lot of experimentation, and then at the end of the last year, I said, well, gosh, I'm always my first guinea pig. I do the studies, I put all the evidence together, as the guys were talking about yesterday, looking for all the clinical validation. But then I have to be my own guinea pig. And I said, truly, the only way I can test this on myself is to get up to my maximum weight I've ever been. And so that was the craziness I was referring to today. I then gained on purpose 40 pounds. Everybody, of course, thought I was crazy. They'd been used to seeing me doing kind of this fasting regimen every once in a while and gaining weight on purpose. So 60 pounds overweight, guys. The name of the protein, just you're the first to hear it. It's called Biactin, and that's real genius, right? It's bioactive protein, Biactin, yeah. Got all the house lights on in here, guys. Not that anybody wants to see even more of me. So I've been playing with this bioactive protein, which we're going to call Biactin. And So from January 27th to Monday, which is when I needed this slide in for these guys, right? I lost 25.4 pounds in 34 days. Now, as I shared with the guys backstage, this isn't the after photo yet. This is the in-process photo, because when you're trying to lose 60 pounds, I'm not even at the halfway point yet, but I'm telling you with 100% confidence, I'm going to get there. I'm going to lose 60 pounds. 100% confidence. And I'm eating 3 small meals a day. I'm still enjoying food. Now, I'm eating less per day because I'm getting my nutrient bases covered. My brain is being told by my gut brain that, hey, he's got it covered. You don't need to eat as much. And so I'm eating small meals because my body is craving less nutrients because the nutrients are getting covered. And I just don't have a desire to go and chow down. And I'm also eating healthier because my body's not craving all the junk. I'm getting away from that addiction to those bliss point fake food products that admittedly I've enjoyed in the past. So my new company, you're hearing it for the first here, is called Tree. Yeah. And Tree refers actually to a broader portfolio of products I'm developing where we have all these multi-phasic systems in our bodies, which are in threes. 3-phase systems. You can look at antioxidant protection, 3-phase system. Overall detoxification, 3-phase system. NAD, that's a 3-phase cycle. Prep cycle, 3 phases. Energy production, 3 phases. You can apply that to. Now I'm a man of faith, and I look at that and I say, God, you're an amazing creator, and all these 3-phase systems. So we've got a portfolio of products to do that, of which this is the first. And so Trilogy, guys, is the name of this weight loss regimen. You can see I got the word GI in there. So, hey, genius, right? Eric doesn't like the fact that it's green. He says he doesn't like the color. I can change that. But Trilogy. And so we are there. I won't get into the whole 3-phasic approach, but I will tell you, hey, there's 3 types of satiety, feeling full. We're addressing that with this. There's 3 stages or phases of satiety. We're addressing that. There's 3 primary gut hormones for satiety. We are addressing those. 3 secondary gut hormones for satiety. We're addressing those. And even from a weight management standpoint in general, it's a 3-fold approach. It's nutrients, which I keep beating into your brains, right? You gotta start there. Get your nutrients covered. It's hormones. It's these GLP-1, GLP-2, CCK, PYY, GIP. It's gut hormonal, and then it is metabolism. There is a part for metabolism here, guys, but it has to be done in a responsible way, which I'll share with you here in a second. These are product mock-ups, right? This is not true design. This is me just going to my graphic artist and saying, hey, can you throw something together real quick just so I can put on a slide and these guys think it's actually real. So little brain trickery here too as well. This isn't the real packaging. But so we've got we've got a shake, a foundation stimulation product, stimulating the activation of these gut hormones, but also as they're getting stimulated, getting that uptake of the nutrients. There's the burn. The calorie burner, which when she threw this together, I didn't have enough time to tell her, listen, the flame and everything, the burn, and that second line there, cell protector, they are equal. I need the flame and the shield. I needed to say calorie burner and cellular protector so that we are doing thermogenesis, metabolism right while protecting the cells. And guys, I know that cell protection side. This is what my prior product that's done billions, and this is what Stellamar does, but we're putting an element of that in here to make sure it's a responsible burn.
Yeah.
And then we've got the bioactive protein in its own right. So the shake does include the bioactive protein, but let me tell you a little more about the bioactive protein. It is not only making it through the gut and to those L cells to stimulate the secretion of these gut hormones, it pulls nutrients with it. So it's activating those hormones. At the same time, it's actually delivering the nutrients for those hormones to help the absorption and transport of. Man, it's a bioavailability absorption product in its own right. And so we felt like it needed to also be a standalone product as a booster to where, hey, you don't like chocolate and vanilla and just want to put it into whatever, mango, whatever, strawberry, raspberry, do your thing. You have the flexibility to do that. Or if you want to add it to the shake as an additional booster, it's available to you for that purpose. So 3-product regimen. We'll kind of dive into each of them real quickly. The foundation stimulation product. You're getting the bioactive protein. You're getting all 40 essential nutrients. We're going to get those bases covered, guys. We're going to take care of the common sense. The bioactive protein helps deliver those nutrients and helps also the absorption of those nutrients. Right now we've got 12 different probiotic strains in it because these foods we've been eating, these fake foods, have been destroying our gut biome. And so that has to be part of it. The pro and the postbiotics, they all work together to help with nutrient absorption. So you can think of the bioactive protein as helping with nutrient absorption, but you can also think of the probiotics that we put in there also helping with nutrient absorption, gut hormone stimulation, and the repair of damage that these other foods have done. Again, I'm going to adjust this so it's not just won't just have the 4 gut hormones up there. We'll at least add in GLP-2. It's a crazy industry, guys. You're going to start hearing about GLP-2 real soon. Trust me on this one. And then the calorie burner, cell protector. These gut hormones have a scavenging agent called DPP-4. It's another hormone that goes in there and starts eating up these good gut hormones. And so to extend better, we have a DPP-4 inhibitor in there. And you're like, gosh, why are we doing this? Again, guys, intervention is needed. Our foods don't have the nutrition that's required. Even our natural foods, supposedly natural foods, don't have the nutrition that God originally gave them. We screwed it up. And so intervention is needed. And so we need to intervene and allow these gut hormones to be upregulated more to get these nutrients. And part of that means also inhibiting the scavenging of these gut hormones. So that's what DPP-4 is. The booster, metabolism. Hey, this is to help folks like me that need the jump start, do need the metabolism booster, but again with the cellular protection in there. Now, with due respect to others, I'm doing the boosting without stimulants. Stimulants have actually been part of the problem. That vitamin D deficiency, we talked about yesterday, where Americans are 92 to 96% deficient in vitamin D. Just crazy, right? Something you can get for the sun. Do you know what the number one inhibitor of vitamin D absorption is? Anyone want to guess? Coffee, caffeine. So does that now make sense? Why Americans are 92% deficient in vitamin D? And then when you're deficient in vitamin D, guess what you get? Fatigue. Fatigue. One of the hallmarks of vitamin D deficiency is fatigue. And then what do you do when you're fatigued? You have some more coffee. So maybe if we started replacing Starbucks with Star Fruit, some of this will take care of itself. Now, I'm not telling everybody to forget their coffee. We've actually formulated this based on the everyday American. That's this guy right here, too, right? The food truck, beer and food truck guy. To where we've added in additional B vitamins that are hindered by caffeine. We've added in additional vitamin D. So I'm not telling you to give up your coffee, but I'm telling you our burner is stimulant free on purpose. And then again, the bioactive protein booster, so you've got that flexibility. Guys, I just want to tell you, this is a flexible program. If you want to just do the shake, great. If you want to add the booster into that shake, great. If you don't need the calorie burn cellular protector, hey, that's fine. If you want to just do the calorie burner and the metabolism booster cell protector, fine. This is a flexible program. Unlike the drugs where you take that shot, you're in for a week, right? You're not hungry for a week, you're stuck in chemical malnutrition for a week. This is a flexible program where, hey, if it's your daughter's birthday in midweek, hey, you don't have to do it that day. Now, I can tell you, I've done, my trip here's a little bit of experimenting as well. I did not bring my products with me to try. I just wanted to kind of see. And I can tell you the effects are, last easily an additional 24 hours. So if you're planning for your daughter's birthday midweek, you may want to stop the day before. But my point being, it's flexible, guys. It's not all in. You can be all in and use these like the drugs and not eat anything, knowing that you're still getting your nutrient bases covered, but we're actually going to advocate for a more, maybe not responsible isn't the word, because you're getting your nutrient bases covered, but a more enjoyable, let's call it, path forward where you can kind of eat small meals or do OMAD one day or alternate this another day or intermittent that another day. Hey, it's all up to you. This is not one of those rigid protocols where I'm so bored of this. I want something different. No, this is designed to meet your lifestyle. I won't go through all these. Plus, they're probably too small to read. But we've got this trilogy regimen has crazy great advantages over both the drugs and over the other GLP-1 quote-unquote alternatives on the market. We're going to give you something that's oral, not a shot. We're going to give you something that's affordable, not $1,300 a month. We're going to give you something that isn't brain trickery. that is actually causing the secretion of all the beneficial gut hormones. We're going to give you stuff that's not brain trickery, a bad biohack. We're going to give you stuff that's totally flexible, as I shared. And we're going to give you stuff that is enjoyable. And we're not going to try and trick you just with cheap fillers also. You can know that when you're buying this, you're buying the stuff that really works, not trickery. So, human trial. Everybody in this room, as Eric mentioned, gets to try this for free, right? Are you excited about that? And so in a few weeks, and I know some of people are like, a few weeks, this bioactive protein and this manufacture of this is difficult, guys. We are giving you the most nutrient-dense shake on the planet. I can tell you that with 100% confidence. And some of you might think, oh gosh, hey, can't anybody just add in more nutrients to a shake? No, there's all these masking technologies you've got to employ to make it actually enjoyable to take, so you don't feel like you're just drinking a liquid vitamin, right? And then there's other things we have to put in there to make sure that the body receives it as true food and recognizes it as true food, and then does the nutrient uptake accordingly. So in a few weeks, you'll get a box with not just the vanilla. You get the chocolate and the vanilla flavors to start. We'll try and figure out some of those weird African and Tahitian flavors later. This is just chocolate and vanilla, guys. Which when I tell people, gosh, I'm not so sure just about chocolate and vanilla, and I tell people, gosh, if you're like drowning in the sea, right, and someone throws you a life ring, are you going to say, gosh, this is orange, can I have a yellow one? I mean, we're talking about, we got to get these nutrient bases covered. We're going to do it with chocolate and vanilla to start, and that's it, guys. And then you'll have the calorie burner and the bioactive protein in there. And I want everyone to know that this is 100% confidential. So we have you'll still need to provide your name, okay? So we know everyone who has responded. So if we're ever challenged in the future for the results, we can say, hey, here's all the people. If you need to, here's their signatures. They did this. But all the forms which we'll have you fill out will just be, we're not going to make it too difficult. Just kind of fill them out weekly. Some of them are going to be some defined metrics. What's your weight, right? And some of them are going to be more subjective. What do you feel as far as reduction of food noise, your hunger cravings, etc., etc. Again, it's very simple, weekly. Those are going to be sent to a law firm. And that law firm is then going to strip your name off of it and photocopy everything. Send it to me for summarization. But again, they've got all the data, they've got all the names, and to make sure that everything is done according to utmost ethical principles. And this is a NELO life study. So this isn't a trilogy study. This is a NELO life study. We will then write it up. We'll print it out, white paper it. We'll submit it for publication. But it'll always be a NELO life study. So you can refer to that with pride and confidence. I'm doing this because I've known Eric, he said quite a few years. It's actually more like 15, right? And I've always wanted to do something with Eric. Even back in his World Venture days, we were talking about doing life trips where we were also, hook, or whatever they were called back then, doing trips with adding in orphaned, abandoned children, trafficked, enslaved kids into the mix. And so now I'm just so happy to actually be doing something with Eric. And so this is just for you guys right now, and the study is 100% Nilo Life. So while we're waiting the next few weeks for the products to arrive, I'm inviting everyone to first go to my Facebook page. You can see some of the other rock stars up there that I've met with. I can tell you that Ozzy is kind of tame compared to some of those guys, and Elton is kind of straight compared to some of those guys. But then we're also doing a Facebook group here where we're going to share testimonials, and I'll be in there active, giving you more information before the product release, and then as you're doing this trial, helping you with encouragement and other things along the way. That group right now is 1 member, so anybody here can sign up to be number 2, right? I've been called a number 2 all my life, but you can be number 2 right now by signing up for that group. So I'll leave that up there, guys, and I'm really excited to be doing this with you. I know I've seen a lot of people kind of shoot pictures of the slides and all that along the way. All this I'll make available on this group, and as well as some other videos I've done talking about GLP-1 secretion in general, and helping get you educated. I'm trying to not necessarily dumb down the science totally, but doing it in a way again, it's all about duplication, replication, right? In a way that you can communicate. So I've been intentionally repetitious, especially about the nutrient absorption. For that reason, I want you guys to have confidence in communicating this and really doing well with it. So thank you guys, appreciate it.